Anyway, how was NOAA to overcome this embarrassing oversight? Well, they did it by expanding Maine's southern interior historical boundary lines. Remember, we went from Sanford to Augusta. Now, they were going to expand this all the way to Calais and add a bunch of cold regions to our southern, and more than doubled the size, and without saying anything to anybody. Just 1 year for 119 years, this is southern interior, and suddenly in 2018, this is southern interior. By doing that, they could go back and then, and as I said, they took it from Augusta to Calais. Now NOAA could take this opportunity to tweak Maine climate's data a third time and get the southern interior warmer than the north, but now, because they've added these colder regions, slightly cooler than the coast, where we used to be warmer than the coast. NOAA has effectively and successfully made Maine climate data useless and unverifiable to any resident within any specific location within the state. If I'm in here and they give me an average, remember, as we said earlier, Maine is bigger than the rest of New England combined. It's like having Rhode Island and New York and Vermont in the same region here. You can't catch them with bad numbers now, because all the numbers are bad. So here's what they've accomplished now. The red line, they've gone from the green, they've upped the southern region. And keep in mind, they've added a bunch of cold counties, but they tweaked the numbers and raised the temperatures, so we're not colder than the north, but we're cooler than the coast. So they've got their numbers that they're holding pat right now. Now, there was something else that occurred. Recall that in the first part of our presentation, part A, where we showed the history of New Gloucester, Lewiston, Auburn, we had this, the 50 years from 1899 to 1948, we averaged 43.7 degrees here, the ups and downs. This was a cool period, and temperatures dropped in this region. And then between 49 and 98, they rose to 45 degrees. And then for the last 24 years, from 1999 to 2023, they've dropped here. Not much, just a tenth of a degree. But that's alarming to government agencies that's saying the first 15 of 16 years of the 2000s was the warmest on record. No. If we use locally, we see we've dropped a tenth of a degree. But something else happened. Now that they've made these adjustments, one of the difficult things is most of the newspapers have been taken over by governmental entities, and they've eliminated history of weather. The Sun Journal, having long ownership, had historic temperatures, highs and lows going back to the 1800s. And they were used through the present for the record high and low of the day. So you might see an 1865, an 1889 for a high and maybe a low. And you know, when you look at the records, you were looking at over almost 200 years of history to get a sense of what was going on. Well, On March 21st, 2019, under new ownership, the Sun Journal expunged all the local climate records between 1847 and 1947 from further consideration for its historic highs and lows published daily. I never found a notification to newspaper readership of this historic weather record tweak. Fortunately, for 5 years I had been I subscribed to the Sun Journal. Each day I ripped out the weather daily and tucked it away because there's also a lot of propaganda on the page. I kept each page because sometimes I might want to write on some erroneous things someone published. But then when I go online, it's disappeared. You can't find it. So you can't, it's like subliminal propaganda or brainwashing. You just get pounded with something that disappears each day. So I had 5 years of weather pages, including surrounding this issue that occurred on March 21st. The importance of it now is, again, here's forecasts for from 1893 to 2023 to what might happen by 2080. And we'll compare factual local data to NOAA's computer models. And here's what we get. Local data suggests climate cycles. When the Atlantic Ocean turns cold again, probably in 3 to 5 years, we're going to take a dip. It won't be really bad, but as I said, we might be like Orno. We may drop a half a degree or so. Because of all the tweaking and blending NOAA has done, anyone who goes to their models will do a statistical analysis, and this is what happens because they see this and all the hype, they see an acceleration, and they're showing that temperatures could climb 14 degrees based on the computer modeling. So here again was the slide we discussed probably an hour and a half ago. 2 centuries of local climate data strongly suggest the Atlantic Ocean will cycle back to cold before 2030. Again, we talked about, here's the warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, and we think, as we showed before, there'll be a few more years of warmth and then it cycles back to cold. And when that occurs, as we showed in the slide before, maybe, I'm trying to be optimistic here that it'll only be a half a degree drop. And so we have that. But based on NOAA's data, they now project we will be 14.3 degrees warmer by 2080. Ignore all the local data. They blended everything to get what they needed. And so now, people unknowingly, this may be an honest outfit, but they're taking NOAA's statistical data, and when they run it through their computer models and they project what temperatures will be like by 2080, they have us down near Washington, D.C. So, in 2018, NOAA completed the blending of cooler Canadian temperature values with local Maine data to successfully alter trending historical climate history. Did NOAA confirm the tweaking? Well, that's the question we had originally. Yes, I took some characters and wrote something here, because here's what we're facing, in my opinion. If we can't get 50-year projections to match, we can't get the 50-year projections to match what you told the public. Try tweaking the variables until they match my projections. That would make us look like liars. Nah, in 10 years, it will look like ordinary governmental incompetence. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you.